Good morning, everyone. Welcome inside the Red Earth Production Studios for another edition of Tips from TTO with our grand accounting and payroll specialist, Megan Wallander from the tax office. Good morning.
Good morning.
And yes, it is morning, and it's a grand morning. It's April. Tax season is extended. It's not wrapping up.
It's not wrapping up. Unfortunately, it's not wrapping up. And I know all the CPAs and accountants out there. But I will let you know, just a note, just from the tax office to all of our viewers out there, that the extension was extended to May 17th, filing date and payment date. As long as it's postmarked by that, you will not be late. However, the tax office will resume our normal hours, 9 to 5.
It would be it would be tough to pay if you owed to pay before you knew how much you had to pay.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
They probably wouldn't care.
Oh, no, I don't think they would care. And you might not get it back for a while. So, but yes, so the payment date and filing date are the same, of course, as it would be if it was April 15th. However, the tax office will resume normal hours. I will be there for any assistance Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and we will still be doing appointments. Greg will still be there, but we won't have extended hours.
No, and it was funny. I was talking to Greg the other day, and he says, yeah, they extended the date, but that doesn't mean I'm extending mine. And it wasn't bad. It just, we'll still take care of you.
Absolutely.
We'll as of April 15th, you guys are going back to your normal business hours.
Yes, and it'll be by appointment. You call, we'll be there, and Greg will be there. He's not going anywhere.
And I'm sure he'll work with you if you need to make an appointment.
Absolutely. He's very much about that, working with anybody who might need to stay later or, have different time frames.
So don't get too crazy. It's not like,
we're not going anywhere. And I am still there gracing everybody's presence from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday.
But it is true. It's fun. But, so May 17th, it's a Monday, is your last date now for filing.
Yes.
So that's where we're at with that, folks. We're rolling into quarter two, Meg.
We are, and that went by fast.
Yeah, the first of the year. There's so much happening in our country. There's so many things that are different. People looking to extend loans. How are we doing business? What's going on? What are you seeing out there happening right now?
And a lot has definitely impacted the small business sector as we moved into 2021. Not a lot has changed, but we did just wrap up quarter one, so it is that time again to get ready to file our quarter one quarterly reports. So, your normal 941, it's nothing out of the usual. So your 941 reports are going to be due by April 30th. Your 940, which is your FUTA, federal unemployment, is going to be due at the end of the month as well. Same time frame. However, you will not be filing a report. That's a report that is an annual report. So you just need to make your payment online at EFT-PS if you're not registered. Not a problem. You can make it as a guest payment as well. So, a little thing from the end of the year versus the beginning of the year. And then, of course, your normal Missouri withholding and your Missouri unemployment. So nothing's really out of the ordinary with quarter reports.
As I'm sitting listening to this, and I heard everything she said. I'm a business owner, and I know all this stuff. I'm sure other business owners are sitting there listening, going, "I have no idea what she's saying."
What she's talking
Which
about.
I don't. I really don't. And to be honest, I'm working at running my business and the things that are there. And I'm glad she's taking care of this because I don't want to. I don't want to fill out a quarterly report.
Nobody does.
And all you other business owners, you should look at this. And if you're doing it, don't waste your time on that. Find somebody like Megan.
I actually have in my notes.
That's just, and honestly, that's an opinion of mine. You can take it or leave it. That's what I think.
I really don't. I do not believe that you are alone in a lot of those. Things get lost in the shuffle, and that's what we're here for. I actually had in my notes, if you do not want to do this, let us take that hat. There's lots of hats, as we've discussed in the past, that business owners, and especially over the 2020 season and going into 2021, I think that business owners have taken on 3 or 4 more hats, if not more. This is an easy hat to give away.
and here's the thing. We talked at the beginning of last year, 2020. We're doing it again this year. As a company, we're an LLC. So
yes. Yep.
Red Earth Productions. And one of the things that we do, and we talked to Greg about this, was we started paying quarterly.
Yes, which is a great
on our
estimated
state
taxes.
estimate.
Yes.
It was an estimate. It's an estimation. We started paying quarterly on that, and come the end of 2020, huzzah!
You were not blindsided.
Well, the thing of it is, you're kind of left, well, how much it is. And then it's that big balloon payment that you're like, man, your bank account goes whoosh.
Yep, all that hard work.
And that's not what I want.
No, absolutely
I want to
not.
still maintain that cash flow, that cash level that keeps my business in this same place.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a great point here. Cash flow is king.
Yes, you don't have a business if you don't have cash flow. Capital, whatever, however you want to look at it, you got to have money.
Right? So we're talking about a practical piece of information here when we're talking about, she's talking about the dates and all that, but then let's come back to the practical application. I'm focused on taking care of my clients with video production, with brand marketing,
Absolutely.
with managing the day in, day out
Operation
of my business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've got these folks over here at the tax office that just say, hey, look, here's what you need to do this, this, and this. Boom. And you know what? It worked.
It does. And just to your point, and to see how simple it can be when, something like this is outsourced, payroll in your accounting piece, especially payroll, especially at quarter time. All you're required to do is sign and date. That's all I need from you. I will refile it for you. We fill out the reports. We make sure all those numbers are going to add up, and we just need a signature from you, and we send them off.
Because, at the end of the day, that makes it easier, and finding that person you trust and and so my focus stays on my business.
Absolutely.
I'm not worried about, man, is it coming the end of the year? I'm at the end of the year, is the money in the bank?
Is the money there? Absolutely.
And I'm writing this big check, which if I take and do it on a quarterly basis, it's not as difficult.
And Greg
it's not
will
as
always,
hard on you.
It's not that big chunk of change, because Greg can sit down and, based off of previous years, can get pretty close to that estimated, to where, you might owe, but you might get something back too. So staying ahead, like we've talked, budgeting and whatnot, estimated payments can be put in a fixed budget type thought process, to where it's not a big payment at the end of the year.
And I think that makes a huge impact on business.
It does.
Cash flow.
Yes,
cash flow.
absolutely. Right. Absolutely. Yes.
What else we got, Meg?
So just one thing I want to bring up. If you are filing your own quarterly reports, the 941 is going to look very different. Typically, a small business would maybe have two page, or maybe a 3-page, depending on your volume. But we're seeing 4-page, 5-page, 941 reports. That is due to the potential payroll credits that you might be eligible for, that are for the 2020 season, that are going to be available for the 2021 year. That retention credits, if you were able to stay open, but you did see a lag in your business sales and whatnot. So the line items have changed. It can get a little tricky. It took me a few. I said, okay, that's new. So we've got it together. We know the line items, but highly recommend that if you're not familiar with those, make sure that you read line by line, because it has changed. It can get a little tricky. We've got all of those reports and all of the dates on our website. And if you still don't understand, give us a call.
and you know what? It's not that you don't understand. There's a lot to this.
It is. The line items can get a little tricky. They can.
And in my opinion, I've read through some of these reports. I remember because I'm part of a non-for-profit organization.
Okay.
As Megan is.
Yes.
I remember going through and doing the
503.
Yeah, the 501c3 and the paperwork you had to fill out. It's this thick.
It is.
And some of the questions, you're just like, is my mind going to explode?
It might.
And I think it's like that with anything. Sometimes the questions can be a little vague, and you're like, how do I answer?
How do I answer that? And you want to make sure that you have the right answer down, or the right numbers to input and whatnot. So that can get a little tricky. I am sure that all of our, I know that all of our small business, you wouldn't be in business. If you were not an intelligent person. However, when you're used to filling out the same 941 report for the last 20 years, and then all of a sudden it's changed, it can get a little tricky there. So, we just encourage you to read through those reports before you input those numbers and get it sent in.
That's good.
We don't want any, things from the IRS popping up on us.
Good things to know. Good things to know.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
that's what I got for our
any thoughts on going in, quarter two? What's emerging? You feeling good about quarter two?
I feel really good for our small business owners. There's lots of retention credits and a lot of things out there for small businesses. And then again, there is still, if you are in a position that you think that you're might need some help to get through that next quarter or the quarter after that, there are still SBA loans out there. Don't discount those. If you don't need them, you don't get them. But if they're out there, if you do need help, and the tax office is here, we can walk you through that. If you don't have someone to help you navigate through that process, we are here to help do that. But I feel really confident for small business owners going into 2021. Things are calming down. We're seeing businesses, from an accounting standpoint, we're seeing businesses push up, and we're seeing that increase. So I'm really glad about that for our small businesses out there.
Well, we need to stay positive, stay focused on moving forward. The future, there's a lot happening in our country. There's a lot happening around the world. There's a lot of things being discussed, talked about. That's what, get into the conversation. Make sure you know what's going on in your local
business,
city.
Your political
county.
Leaders. Don't be afraid to give them a call.
Right. City, county, especially. Make sure you're aware of what's going on at the state level. I think in Missouri, we have a lot of positives for our state.
We do.
We just need to make sure we keep them that way.
Yes, and that's staying involved, especially as a small business, because I believe, and we've talked about this to great length, that we were affected the most by the economic issues that happened in 2020. And so staying involved and staying in the know, and that if something is not in the right direction, we have the right to speak up.
Yep. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, hey, Megan, as always, thank you.
You're very welcome.
And we hope that you got something out of this today, folks. Please, if you like what we're doing, hit that subscribe button. Hit the alert button for your notifications on everything coming from Hump Day with the Rep, tips from TTO. We've got some great stuff, some great information coming up. And as always, everybody have a great day in the Lord, and we will see you next time.